Called Life is the best.
I'm such a bad singer.
I like Spanish dip.
No porn after 9?
Tell your friends if you had fun. I'll still have laser guns for sale.
Well, I don't know. Susan's son has one of these, and they work just fine.
Whenever I see you, nobody believes me.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of an experiment called Life. My name is Alex Mackenzie, I'm your host. We're going to give you a quick little rundown. Already doing an off the top. That's never a good start to a podcast. You know, it's like, do you have anything to talk about or don't you? Why are you doing this if you don't? So I'll give you a rundown what we're going to do here. We're going to take you through. We started the Hunger for Laughs Helping Hands. That's a really cool, exciting thing we got going on that I'm really proud of, that I hope is going to continue to grow week after week. I'm going to talk about the Obesity Code and fasting. So that's a book I read that helped me lose 60 pounds. I lost 60 pounds in the last, it's probably been 5 months, I guess it would be. We're going to talk about internet hate after that. Been getting a lot of that. And then we do our weekly segment, which is the 3 meanest comments we got on the internet this week. This week's a good one, you guys. We posted a video about gun control. Not even really gun control. Just what I think. I did a funny little bit about guns, like a scenario. And they got some really good hate. So I got some comments there that I'll share with you guys. And then we'll call it a wrap. This thing will probably be 20 minutes. We'll see. We'll see how we get it done. All right, we're gonna start. So, Hunger for Laughs Helping Hands. So it is this little thing I started doing last week. I've been going live on TikTok twice a day, and what I've been doing is I've been telling jokes for donations. So anytime I get a donation, I tell a joke, and then what we do is we take 100% of the money donated, and then we pile it up at the end of the week, and then we buy stuff for people in need, and then we do that on Saturday, and then Sunday we go out and we distribute the goods. So last week was our first actual week of doing it. What we did is we raised about $100. It was $100 Canadian that we raised. We went out, we bought a winter jacket. We went and got a good deal on a winter jacket. We bought that. Then we went and bought 30 McDoubles. Is this good? Should I tilt this way? Maybe a little. All right. And then we bought 30 McDoubles. And then we went downtown and we found some competitors for the jacket. What we ended up doing, I don't know. Are you allowed to say homeless people? Is homeless people like a bad term? Or do you say street people? I guess homeless people. So we went and we found some homeless people. We went and we hosted a comedy show for them. And then we fed everybody. And then we held a rock, paper, scissors tournament for the winter jacket. And it was super fun. They were so good. I was really impressed. I was worried at how it was going to go. Like if somebody lost, were they going to be really upset and fight with each other? They were so amazing, man. It went way better than I ever could have thought. But then I thought about it and I was like, dude, these guys are living on the streets. They're probably used to things not going their way, you know? So losing a game of rock, paper, scissors, you're like, what do you expect? I mean, my friends would be harder on the losses in that game. So, yeah, they were really good. It was really fun. The comedy show, they loved it. And then basically what we're doing as well, you guys, is then we film all week long. We film that. And then what I do is I put it on TikTok. I put it on YouTube. And then what we do is hopefully we get more viewers, which leads to more donations, which means we can help more and more people. And I'm giving away 100% of the donations. So I screenshot it. I show you guys that. And then also on Friday we do a live, and we try and all as a group decide what we're gonna do. So far this week we've already beat it. So it's Thursday. So far we've got I think we've raised about $140 this week. So we're already past last week. So it's growing, which is good. And then Saturday we're gonna decide. I don't know. I'm hoping that it grows week after week. Like, I think the coolest thing would be, imagine if we made like $5,000 in a week and then we could go buy someone like a used car. Like, that would be the coolest, I think. So that's kind of my hopes and aspirations for this thing, is that it keeps growing and then we can really start helping some people and changing some lives. Or this week, I don't know. I was thinking maybe of doing like going to a secondhand store and buying like a bunch of winter jackets. Because last week we just bought one brand new one, and we could probably get like, you know, if we raised $200 this week, we could probably get like, you know, 10 or probably 10 winter jackets and hand them all out, which would be really cool. And yeah, if you're wondering how we do it, to donate, if you want to be a part of the Hunger for Laughs Helping Hands, what you can do is if you go, I'm on TikTok, I'm live. It's usually around this time, around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twice a day for about an hour each time. So you can come in there, you can donate, we'll do some jokes. Or if you want, I did set up a PayPal donation account at my website. Go to alextellsjokes.com, find the Hungry for Laughs link, and you'll see it all there. And you can see our video from last week and all that. You can go on YouTube and basically see what we're doing here. So if you guys can spread the word on that, that would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it. Hopefully it just continues to grow and grow. All right, enough about that. Let's get into the thing I wanted to talk about was the Obesity Code. So the Obesity Code by Dr. Jason Fung. Now, I think this guy figured it out, you guys. I think he really did. So this is actually, I mentioned earlier that I lost 60 pounds. This is the third time in my life that I've lost 40 pounds or more, only to always have it come back. That's a little joke I do. I say, losing weight's like losing a cat, you know? I mean, it's coming back. That's a dumb little one that we did. But anyway, that's the thing, is it's always come back. And so I started regaining weight. And I started freaking out because I started basically just with a calorie deficiency. I was just like, okay, I'm only going to do eat like 2,000 calories a day. And then that worked well for a while. But then it got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore. I was waking up in the middle of the night and basically sleepwalking to the jar of peanut butter. I remember being in tears, man, because I wanted to lose weight so bad and I was so upset. And I was like in tears that I was like scooping peanut butter out with my fingers. And I was like, why are you doing this? And I couldn't stop it. And I realized now after listening to Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code, I think he nailed it, man. I think he's got it figured out. And it's all to do with insulin, actually, is the thing. So it sounds like you have a body set weight, which is set by the level of insulin in your body. So your body's going to want to be at whatever weight your set weight is set at. And that is all set by the level of insulin, which is set by your insulin resistance. So we all have different levels of insulin resistance that gets passed down to us genetically for the most part, and then also by what we eat. So once I listened to this guy's book and got kind of educated on it, I switched away from being so focused on like a calorie deficiency and more focused on what foods I was actually eating. So it's like a calorie is not a calorie. It, depending on what you're eating, is that's a big difference. You can eat a lot more if you're eating healthy foods. And he's really good because he doesn't like tell you, hey, here's the miracle diet, here's what you have to do. He doesn't do any of that. He just gives you straight up facts and just like studies from papers and stuff. And he's like, hey man, here's the research we did. Here's the thing. So if you guys want to try it or check this out, here's what to do, or like, here's what we found. And he doesn't really force you into doing any certain thing, which I found very cool. And the one thing that they found was like, first thing he said they have to do is, what they did is they took a bunch of obese people and then they measured their hormones level. And because you're trying to find some kind of correlation, that something they all have, like a hormonal thing. So then he went with, he said they all had high levels of leptin. So he's like, okay, so leptin was the first one they tried. So anytime they're doing a hormone test, I guess what it does, it has to pass what they call the causality test. So what they have to do is they have to take that hormone, inject it into people, and then see a change. So what they do is they took the hormone leptin, and then they injected it into a bunch of skinny people, and we're seeing, okay, are these people going to gain weight? And then they would know, okay, we got to start digging into leptin, what causes it, blah, blah, blah. Well, leptin, it didn't work. Nobody gained weight on leptin. What it turns out leptin is it's the hormone that actually, your brain produces to tell you to stop eating. So because obese people eat more, they all had higher levels of leptin because they developed a resistance to it. Because to develop a resistance in anything, it's basically you have to have high levels over a long period of time. That's for anything, whether, drugs, alcohol, nicotine, food, any of it. So obese people generally had higher levels of leptin because they ate so much more. So then their brain would have to produce more leptin to get them to actually stop eating. Now, that didn't work when they injected people with leptin. None of them gained weight. There have only been 2 hormones they found that have passed the causality test for weight gain. And they are insulin, and then, what was the other one? Cortisol, the stress hormone. So how they work basically was cortisol made people gain weight, but basically through insulin. So when you inject people with insulin, they develop an insulin resistance. Now, apparently insulin affects 3 different areas in your body. So it affects your brain, your muscles, and then your liver. So the thing is, your liver and your muscles will develop an insulin resistance, is where your brain will not. So your brain, it goes in your hypothalamus, and that sets the body set weight. So the more insulin in your body, the higher the body set weight. Your brain tells your body you need to grow, which then tells you need to eat more food so you can continue growing. Now, they did, the way the insulin resistance works in your muscles, I think, was they said that if you had insulin, and say that like insulin, one part of insulin unlocked, say it was like a key, and then your muscles to store like glycogen. I don't know, I guess I'm going all over the place, right? Do you guys know what insulin is for? So insulin basically drives the glucose out of your blood and into your muscles. Also, I don't know any of this stuff. This is all just stuff I heard and I'm regurgitating. So I'm basically just like a jukebox. I just heard the thing and then I'm just spewing it out. And I didn't do any of these studies, so I don't really even know what I'm talking about. But I'm just throwing up, vomiting a bunch of information that they told me that I heard on the book. So insulin's purpose is to drive glucose out of your blood and into your muscles. Now your muscles can only store, I think, 500 grams of it. And then after the 500 grams, your muscles all shut the door. Everything else goes to fat storage. So insulin then is like a key to a door. So say that you have glucose in your blood and your muscles need it. The insulin goes in, it opens the door, and then it allows the glucose to go into the muscles. Now, as you develop insulin resistance, now you need more insulin to get the same amount of glucose into the muscles. So one key used to open 2 doors. Now one key only opens 1 door. So now you need twice as much insulin in your body to get the same effect. Now, the thing is, when you double your insulin, now your brain in the hypothalamus raises your body set weight. It goes, oh, we're obviously trying to grow. We need to eat more. And then that's what keeps you hungry and makes you eat more and more. And yeah, it's pretty interesting, man. Anyway, I'm gonna cut her short there. You guys can go and read the book if you want. He'll do a way better job than I will. I don't know what I'm talking about. So just go and check out the Obesity Code. One study from that was really cool that I liked was they took a guy, he was like a fitness instructor. I guess he's like a 10-year vet in the fitness industry. He's a well-known dude. He wanted to test the theory of like a calorie is not a calorie. So what he did is he came up with a diet where he was going to eat like 4,573 calories a day. He made it very specific, weighed all of his food, wanted it that tight. And then what he did is he did the calculation of calories in, calories out. And it turns out that he should have gained like 16.4 pounds over the course of the month if he ate that much every day. So he ate that much every day, but what he did is he decided he was going to do it with a very like high protein, all natural foods diet. So I think he had like 50% of his calories or macros coming from fat, 30% from protein or 40% from protein, and like 10 from carbs. Now at the end of the month, he ended up only gaining 2 pounds. And he actually lost an inch on his waist. So he gained 2 pounds of lean mass and burnt fat. Now, to some people are like, oh, well, maybe he's just one of those freak genetic guys who has really good genetics, yada, yada, yada. So then he's like, okay, I'm going to do the exact same test, like same diet for the amount of calories, but I am going to eat like a real westernized diet, like an American diet with high carb, sugary foods. So then what he did is he ate all that, and then at the end of the month, guess how much weight he gained? Yeah, he gained like 16.2 pounds, almost to a T what he calculated. So it kind of goes to show it's more about what you eat what you eat than how much you eat. So that's been kind of working for me. I've been doing that. And then the other thing he really recommends is like fasting, because the only way to get your insulin resistance lower or your insulin more sensitive is the opposite of a resistance. So to develop a resistance, you need to have a high levels over a long period of time. So the opposite is you need really low levels over a long period of time. So you got to do fasting, and so that's what I started doing. I actually ended up doing like I've been doing like intermittent fasting. So I eat only between like 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. or like noon till 8. It depends. Whenever I have my breakfast, it determines like when I have my dinner, when I cut myself off, and then I kind of go from there every day. And it's been working. I've been eating a lot. I've been eating like 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. I'm still losing weight, and I'm really happy with the process and the progress, everything I'm making. I actually did like a week-long fast back in August. I went 7 days with no food. Turns out you can go a long time without food, man. They say even marathon runners who have like a body fat percentage of 5 to 10%, they can last 30 days with no food. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I feel like it helped me out a lot doing the 7-day thing. I feel like it did reset all my stuff. Like I've been able to stay clear of sugar and and just like junk food. I don't know. There's so much flavor now for me in everything. Like I eat a tomato and I'm like, whoa, that is strong. Yeah. So anyway, that's enough about the obesity code, the fasting stuff. We'll get into the fun stuff here. So internet hate. We'll talk about that for a minute, and then we'll do the 3 meanest comments, and then I'll let you guys get out of here. All right. So we have been getting a ton of hate on the internet lately. This has been it's kind of funny because this is what I've always wanted. Like you're trying to gain a following, and TikTok has been working. I'm very happy with the growth of TikTok. Last week alone, I think we gained like 12,000 followers in 1 week, which is pretty cool. I'm really happy about it, and that's why I'm on here so much. I'm trying to keep this growing. Put a lot of effort into it. It's funny, I've been doing YouTube for like a year and a half, and I've got like nowhere, man. Got like 400 subscribers, is where on TikTok, it just, the growth and reach in that thing is unbelievable. But I've also been just telling jokes, and I think that's what I learned, is you have to be adding value. Before I was just doing like my Tony Robbins, traveling around like trying to inspire people, and then you realize you're a comedian, dude. Like tell jokes. That's the whole point. That's what people want, and just do that. So I've been trying to do that, and it's been working. But you get a lot of hate, man. I'm getting like probably 200 to 300 comments a day of like really mean stuff. Like people have been telling me to go kill myself. People have telling me they're going to come and kill me. Yeah, it's pretty harsh stuff. And I was thinking about it. I was like, with the internet nowadays, like someone who's like even has like a really small following like myself, you can probably receive the amount of hate that like Eminem was getting in his heyday back when he wrote like The Way I Am in the 90s, right? Like, because the only way that he would get hate would be, what would it be? Like they would have to, I guess, email it to him. If someone wrote him an email, there was probably email then. Or like magazines or on television, right? Like that would be the place that he would see it. As we're now with social media, people can immediately send you their hate. Like it's like we have built a 4-lane, an autobahn of a highway to deliver hate to artists. It's pretty crazy, or just to anyone in general. So it's a little weird trying to deal with that. I'm getting better and better at it, and getting less worked up about it, but it is kind of tricky to navigate, especially I'm like, maybe just don't read the comments. But at the same time, I think that's probably the most interesting segment on this podcast, is just getting to read the 3 meanest comments. And I think, like we talked about resistance, the more and more I expose myself to it, the more I will get resistant to it, and it'll be fine. And then I think it'll correlate to being better on stage because if you're so used to people just hating you all the time online, then when you get on stage, you know, if the crowd doesn't like you, you're like, that's okay, I'm used to everyone hating me, you know? Okay, you guys, we are going to start the meanest comments of the week for all of you out there. So here we go. So we'll start with the joke, I guess, so that you guys have the joke, so you know what it is. It's like an older bit I have about guns, about gun control. So this, the bit was basically, I say, I think guns are stupid. I mean, some of my buddies are like, actually, if everyone had guns, we wouldn't have mass shootings anymore, because then anytime a shooter started shooting, you could just pull your gun out and shoot him, end of story. And I go, okay, Chief, let me run this scenario by you. You're at the mall, you're at your local Foot Locker, picking yourself up a new pair of Nike Kicks. Mall shooting goes down. You run, you duck behind the counter, you pull out your pistol, and you think to yourself, oh, that son of a bitch, he came to the wrong mall. Now, here's the problem. The first guy to come around that corner with a gun out, you're not waiting to figure out whether he's a friendly or the shooter. So you shoot him. Now, somebody just saw you shoot him. They have now identified you as the shooter. They start shooting at you. And this sets off a chain reaction of shootings throughout the mall, turning that place into one giant Call of Duty deathmatch, where you're going to have one guy come crawling out of there at the end like, Jesus Christ, barely made it out of there alive. Thank God I had my gun, though. So that was the dumb joke. That was the thing I did. Posted that, and it ended up all over the place, man. It's got over 10 million views right now across all platforms. It ended up on World Star, ended up in Gun Owners of Canada, Real Toronto News. Yeah, a lot of different places. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And people got really upset about it. So we're going to give you, we've got the top 3 meanest comments that came with that, so we'll get these going for you. And I think there were some meaner ones, but I just did a quick skim this morning and took a look and found a few that stood out to me. I didn't want to dig through, because there's thousands of comments. I didn't bother digging through all of them. But here's one that this one didn't even make the top 3, but this one gets honorable mention. So it came from Steve Chadwick on Facebook. It's... real gun owners don't wear Nikes. Athletes who take a knee wear Nikes. So I think that's just a little shot of what Steve is all about. He'd lets you know what he's really leaning politically and what his views are. So Steve, good stuff. I don't like what you're doing, Steve. That's okay. He's probably just sad, you guys. He probably just wasn't raised right. It's not his fault. All right, now we're moving up. Now we're into the big boy league, okay? This is where the guys who made the top 3. So here we go. Here's the number 3 comment, you guys, that came this week. So this came from Dylan Lang, and it reads, well, that soy boy needs to step the fuck out of the gene pool. Oh, that, I think that's implying that he wants me to die, I think. I'm not sure if that counts as him. Like, he obviously wants me to die, but I thought it was pretty funny. I like the conclusions they draw. Like, if you don't like guns, this was a very common theme. A lot of them assumed I was vegan, which I thought was really funny, because they just assume that I'm a vegan. When I eat, majority of what I eat is meat. Like, I have bacon and eggs every morning, and I eat probably 3 chicken breasts a day. So yeah, it's funny. I guess they just want to lump you in with some kind of group identity. So Dylan Lang, thank you for the kind words. Hope you're having a good day. All right, we're now moving forward, you guys. This is number 2 on the 3 meanest comments of the week here on an experiment called Life. All right, this one came again. These are all from Facebook. This one came from Scott Harton, and this one goes, there has to be a God. There's no fucking way anyone could evolve into something that stupid. This one made number 2 because it's funny. I think that's hilarious, Scott. I love it. That's a good comment in my books. That one, it doesn't really even qualify as like a mean one to me, because I think like he made a great joke about it. And it was really funny, so I bumped him up to number 2. Just I appreciate what Scott did there, and I think that's a great one. All right. So Scott, keep doing you. Keep doing funny stuff. Yeah, you're doing great. All right, you guys. It is now time for the meanest comment of last week here on an experiment called life. All right, are you guys ready? The meanest comment we received online last week. This one comes from Russ Nodder. So Russ Nodder, his comment was, "It won't matter what he thinks when he's shot dead anyway, fucktard." Oh my God. Oh, correction. It's Russ Nodder. It's not Ross. It's Russ Nodder. I'm like, Jesus, this guy wants to shoot me dead over a joke that I made online. You're like, that is insane. It's almost like he wants to prove my point that guns are stupid, you know? If someone can murder you because of a joke that you made with this thing, like, that's not good, Russ. You want to shoot me dead over a joke. You have a problem. And his profile picture is just him flipping the bird, just a middle finger coming at you. What a guy. Looks like he's probably in his late 40s. Looks like things just haven't been working out for old Russie. You know, he's having a hard time. And he's just looking to spew all of this hatred out somewhere. Russ, like, that's why I think stand-up comedy is great. It gives you an outlet for all of these emotions. Russ just needs to get on stage and do what I do, you know? Anyway, you guys, those are the three meanest comments that we got this week online. We're going to be doing this week after week. By the way, if I got shot dead over a joke, that would be great, right? Because, like, if I got shot dead over a joke, I would be like, go down in the history books. Then people would tune into this vlog to see what I was talking about, right? They'd be like, all right, we got to check out an experiment called life. And the other one, if I got shot and I lived, then I could be like the 50 Cent of comedy, you know? Got hit 9 times and I'm still breathing. I could probably write a bunch of jokes about getting shot and being alive. That would also make my Jesus material seem a lot better, right? It would go even better with that. So if that happens, I guess it happens. But anyway, you guys, that's that. So to recap, the Hungry for Laughs, Helping Hands, that's a big thing I'm working on. If you guys can spread the word on that. What we do is we go around and we tell jokes for donations, and then we take all the money we get donated, we give away. So if you guys want to be a part of that, I go live on TikTok at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. twice a day. That's Pacific Standard Time. Or you can go to alextellsjokes.com, go to Hungry for Laughs, and there's a donation thing set up there through PayPal. And we donate 100% of what we get, and I screenshot, I show you guys all that, and we all vote on what we want to do with the money. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to take off. I got to go meet my friend for coffee. And you guys take care of each other out there. I love all of you.